cake. Getting mad at me, player, but they taking my place. And I'm a misbreed, homie, so they hate my race. Or maybe I'm just ugly, so they hate my face. Either way it go, homie, take the hating away. Now I'm suited in my armor and I'm just ready to play. So now put me in coach, cause I'm just ready to get. See, I told y'all I ain't going nowhere. I told y'all I'm right here, right here. I told y'all
Hello, thank y'all for joining us again on Humble Not Timid. We appreciate all y'all for showing up and showing your support for us in this new channel as we move forward to grow. Today's episode, we're going to speak a little bit about Trump and his interview that he's had. It's the first one he's had since he's become elected as president. We're going to talk a little bit about Biden and the thing, the issues going on over there with Assad and them. We're also going to speak a little bit about Obama and his speech that he gave. Okay. Now, we have a few other topics that we're going to cover a little bit over today. But at the same time, too, though, before we do that, I want to tell everybody Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Okay. And now we know that around Christmas time, it gets a little desperate. We got to tell you, you watch your wallets, watch your pockets, watch your kids, you know, and be careful as you move forward. So with that being said, I'm going to jumpstart today's episode with a few little things that you need not do if you're feeling desperate for the holiday season. Okay. Like one thing you don't do is you don't run up on somebody else's property thinking that what's theirs is yours.
My property.
Well, there's been a lot of comings and goings of UPS trucks in this neighborhood.
What about that?
A lot of packages coming to this house particular. Well, something's going on in there. Something's going on in there.
So it's Amazon.
I'm taking the package.
It's my Amazon wish list.
I'm taking the package.
No, you're not taking my package. That's my stuff.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Ow! Oh my God! You killed me.
I did not kill you. You're fine.
Oh my God!
You sprayed me with whatever that stuff
What's your bitch shit? I knew you been stealing my shit. Broke ass. Yeah. Broke ass. That's what your
Hey, bro. Yo, man, that's my package, dude.
I think I just got confused.
No, you didn't get confused, bro. Put my shit back. That's right.
Sorry.
Wait, what the?
I think I just got a little confused.
Never mind. Just take the package, bro. There's some pants. I ordered some joggers, dude. You need them way more than I do, bro. Just take it. Just take it. Why are you wearing shorts when you got legs like that, man? Wait. Hold on. Come back. I need someone to scare the crows away from my front lawn.
Put my shit back on this fucking floor. Yeah. I saw you when you got out the motherfucking car. You're trying to put my shit back on this motherfucking floor. You gonna lost your mother. You gonna come up on my shit and take my shit? You lucky. You got it.
Yeah, and another thing you don't do is don't mess up right before Christmas and get to talking trash to the police. Nobody wants to spend Christmas sitting in a jail cell. I mean, many have done it. I get it, but come on. You really want to spend the Christmas holiday and the New Year's sitting in a jail cell. Let's not do that. So don't do this season.
You're a bitch ass too. Okay. You just I'll be that. I'll be that. Shut your bitch ass up. I'll be that. You're a bitch. What's your bitch? Back up. Back up. I'm searching him because he's under arrest. You shut my with your bitch ass. Come over here and you'll get in trouble. Back up now. Back up, bro. You gonna get tased. You gonna get tased. Turn around, get on your hands. Get on your stomach. Turn around, get on your stomach.
Get on your stomach. On your stomach.
Roll on your stomach.
Okay, now that we're done looking at some of these idiots, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into this Trump interview. And it's his first interview he's had since he became president. And what they did was they wanted to see exactly what his plans might be for the first 100 days while he's in office, okay? So they're going to break it down, and we'll let them explain a little bit of what he's got planned.
President-elect Donald Trump, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here. You are the first president since Grover Cleveland to win non-consecutive terms. Republicans now have control of the House and the Senate.
Right.
What do you plan to accomplish in your first 100 days in office?
Well, we're going to do something with the border, and very strong, very powerful. That'll be our first signal, and a first signal to America that we're not playing games. We have people coming in by the millions, as you know, and a lot of people shouldn't be here. Most of them shouldn't be here, but we have jails being emptied into our country. We have mental institutions from all over the world being emptied into our country. So we'll be doing that. We're going.
So this is the first interview he's done since he's become elected president. Okay, now this is with Meet the Press, and this was done by Christine Welker. Okay, now this young lady here, throughout the whole interview, she tries to keep it cordial, but then at the same time too, though, you'll notice as we move along, she tries to, pin him down a few times through here and there throughout the conversation to kind of make him change what he's saying, if not question his intentions. But the first thing he wants to do is he wants to take control of the border. He believes, we take control of the border, we'll save a lot of lives, and then at the same time too, that will stop a lot of the drug flow, and with a lot of the drug flow being stopped, it's going to stop a lot of problems that we're having right now throughout a lot of our major cities. Okay. Now he brought in Tom Holman, and Tom Holman, he was there the first time Trump was president, and he's not the first president Holman's actually didn't serve. Okay, he served a few presidents throughout his time, so he's not a rookie at this. And I know some people think that he's a monster, but even at that, though, somebody's got to do the job. So if you're not going to do it and I'm not going to do it, somebody's got to do the job.
I think you got some fans in the house here.
Good.
Why is this so important to you?
Because of the tragedies I've seen in my career. I mean, I started as a border patrol agent in 1984, so I wore the uniform. I became an ICE agent, first ICE director. They actually came up through the ranks, right? President Trump put me in that position, who I think is the greatest president of my lifetime, by the way. And the tragedies I've seen, I've talked to young girls as young as 9 that were raped multiple times by members of the cartel. And you get on your knees and talk to a little girl that had everything innocent and pure ripped from her. She'll never be the same. It moves you. I stood in back of a tractor trailer with 19 dead aliens at my feet, including a 5-year-old little boy. They were all in their underwear because they were baking to death. They died in a steel box. And I said during my testimony that one congressman said I didn't care about dying children unless we were white. I stood there and knelt beside that 5-year-old boy and put my hands on him and said a prayer for him because I knew what his last hour of his life was like. No one deserves to die that way, especially children. I've held many dying people. I've held many dead people and talked to a lot of women and children that were sexually assaulted. It all can be prevented if we secure the border. Secure the border saves lives. So, I wake up every day pissed off with what this administration did to the most secure border in my lifetime. But thankfully, we got President Trump coming back, and we're going to secure the border once again and save lives.
So you see, this man has been doing this for almost 40 years, if not more, since 1984. Worked his way up through the ranks. So he didn't just come out of nowhere and say, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna be the border czar, and let me go ahead and see what I can do." No, this man spent most of his life looking at all these type of things. You know what I mean? So I can only imagine the different type of things that the man has seen through his career. We're talking about just how bad it is now over the past 4 years, but over the past 40 years, can you imagine 40 years of fighting dope on the border, 40 years of fighting people coming in, 40 years of, fighting the drug cartels, and it don't look like it's a battle that's ever going to be won. You kill one and 20 more step up. So, I don't blame him on that. But even at that, the Welker keeps on, interviewing Trump, and, we push on into a few different topics as she moves forward. And like I said, she tries to keep it cordial, and she's real smooth, and, but what bothers me about some people is the way that they try to act like, well, I'm being nice to you, but then at the same time too, though, I'm gonna hit you with a slick little jab, you know what I mean? And then those type of people right there, they're slick. They're real slick. I've dealt with a lot of them in my life. But this one here, she really thinks she's slick, and we're gonna go ahead and listen to a little bit more of this interview real quick.
Economists of all stripes say that ultimately consumers pay the price of tariffs.
I don't believe
Can
it.
you guarantee American families won't pay more?
I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee tomorrow. But I can say that if you look at just pre-COVID, we had the greatest economy in the history of our country. And I had a lot of tariffs on a lot of different countries, but in particular China. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars, and we had no inflation. In fact, when I handed it over, they didn't have inflation for a year and a half. They went almost 2 years just based on what I had created. And then they created inflation with energy and with spending too much. So I think I'm a big believer in tariffs. I think tariffs are the most beautiful word. I think they're beautiful. It's going to make us rich. We're subsidizing Canada to the tune of over $100 billion a year. We're subsidizing Mexico for almost $300 billion. We shouldn't be subsidizing. Why are we subsidizing these countries? If we're going to subsidize them, let them become a state. We're subsidizing Mexico, and we're subsidizing Canada, and we're subsidizing.
Now, I mean, I don't disagree with the man. I mean, why are we paying for all these other countries? And these countries, they're not our countries. They don't live by our rules. If you're not in my house, well, I need to pay your bills. That's the truth about that. Now, as far as the tariffs putting the price down, us paying the price for the tariffs, well, to a point, it is true and it's not true. Because I mean, when you put a tariff on them, yeah, the companies can try to trickle down the price down to the consumer. It's something that can happen, but what'll end up happening in the long run is the companies will end up moving over here and not even paying the tariff, being able to drop their prices. We get more jobs, and then at the same time too, or should I say, not raising their prices. We get more jobs, and then they turn around and everything starts to level out. So it's something that we're going to have to deal with. I mean, we can't just keep paying the bill and footing the bill and then expecting everybody to have the same grace towards us that they want us to have towards them. See, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You be humble, but you don't be timid. And that's what they want. They want us to be timid. They want us to well, y'all are America. You love everybody. Well, then you know what? Then we can take advantage of you. And that's not how that works. That is not how that works. That's not how it's gonna work. It's not how it should work. So I don't disagree with him. I really don't. But it's not all that he's got to speak about. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move forward as well. Keep on speaking to him.
I was able to get hundreds of billions of dollars put into NATO just by a tough attitude. I said to the countries, I'm not going to protect you unless you pay. And they started paying. And that amounted to more than $600 billion. That's a big thing. Otherwise, they wouldn't even be fighting. They wouldn't have any money to fight. If they're paying their bills, and if I think they're treating us fairly, the answer is absolutely, I'd stay with NATO.
But if not, you would consider the possibility of
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Let's turn to the Middle East now, sir. There are still American hostages being held in Gaza.
Yeah.
You said this week that if the hostages aren't released before Inauguration Day, quote, there will be all hell to pay.
Correct.
What exactly did you mean? And do you still think that the hostages are alive?
I'm not a big believer in the fact that there are too many of them living, sadly, because I've seen the way they've been treated. I talk about the young girl that was pulled by her hair violently and thrown into the back of a car like she was a sack of potatoes. And I said, that's hatred. And then I said, how did that young girl do? Beautiful young girl just dragged by her hair. You remember, blood pouring all over her body. You can imagine the parents thrown into the back of a car by some horrible guy. And I said, how is she? She's dead. She died, sir. I don't think you have as many. I mean, I hate to say it. I think you have far fewer hostages than people think.
Really?
That's what I think. It's only my opinion.
Sir, I don't have to tell you this because you've talked about it. It comes at a time when the country is deeply divided. And now you're going to be leading this country for the next 4 years. For the sake of unifying this country, will you concede the 2020 election and turn the page on that chapter?
No. No, why would I do that? But let me just tell you, when you say the country is deeply divided, I'm not the president. Joe Biden's the president.
But you're going to be the president.
No.
I mean, come on. That was the most gangster answer you could give. Because, I mean, you just ain't lying. No. Why do I got to backtrack on what I done said? Now, either you stand on what you say or you don't. It's plain and simple. And the man's standing on what he said. Now, if you watch the whole interview, and I'm going to leave the links to everything that I do throughout the show, I'm going to leave them down in the description. If you watch the whole interview, over and over and over, he keeps trying to tell her. He says, you know what? I don't want to talk about that because I don't want to bring up the bad conversations. You know what I'm saying? We already know where I stand on that. I already know where y'all stand on that. We're not going to sit there and bring that up. And yet, at the end of the interview, this is what she wanted to do. She wanted to try to bring up the 2020. And then she wants to try to be slick about it and well, for the peace and the unity of the country. How is that going to unify the country? Explain it to me. So even if he does say, oh yeah, well, I conceded because I won this one, so I'm going to say that I lost that one, how's that going to unify the country? That's going to make you look like a double-sided hypocrite. And the reality of the situation is you know what, whether you like him or you don't like him, he stands on what he said. So I don't knock him for that. For that right there, you get cool points in my book. That's just all there is to it. You get cool points. Now, they don't have to like him. I get it. But that's some of that little slick stuff that I'm talking about now. It's like I said, it's a whole long interview, and we'll go ahead and we'll let you watch that and everything. I'll leave the links and everything down in the descriptions. But even at that, though, we got other issues. You're worried about this man saying whether or not he lost a 2020 election. But then, like, if you go back to the Holman interview that he did with Dr. Phil, we have other issues to worry about right now. The man already done won. It's already said and done. Biden's on the way out, and you're focused on this. This is really you. You got the exclusive interview, and this is one of the questions you wanted to ask. Now, like I said, Holman and Dr. Phil, they talking about other things. These are other issues that we need to worry about. Important issues.
Trump versus Biden administration, the Trump administration, 2017 to 2020, encounters 2,088,618. Encounters the Biden administration, 10,825,387, and then 2 million gotaways. So that's a huge difference in the number of people penetrating the border. And then repatriations, 1.6 under the Trump administration, and then 4.4 under the Biden administration, which is reflective of the number of people coming across. Trump administration, 2,000 pounds of fentanyl seizure, and Biden administration, 14,000 pounds. That's enough to kill every American walking, because it doesn't take much. So that tells you how much is coming across, because DEA tells me they assume they're seizing about, what, 10%?
No more than 10%. It's not a coincidence in 4 years of an unsecured border, we have historic overdose deaths from fentanyl. It's coming across between the port of entries. But the border was overwhelmed. And that's what people need to understand. They want to talk about innocent and illegal immigration. They're coming for a better life. I get that. But you need to understand, when you overwhelm the system like they've done the last 4 years, most of the border patrol's no longer on patrol. They're making sandwiches, changing diapers, they're making hospital runs. They're dealing with humanitarian crisis. So when you pull 70% of agents off their national security duty, that's when they move the fentanyl in to kill Americans. That's when they move the sex trafficking, the 600% increase in sex trafficking. That's when the bad people come. And look, 2 million people paid more to get away. Why did 2 million people pay more to get away? Because they could have paid less. Get to the border, a cartel job's done. Turn yourself in a green uniform. Get processed, get released within 24 hours. Get a free airline ticket to the city of your choice. Get a free hotel room. Get 3 meals a day. Get free medical care. And in 90, 120 days, get work authorization, which is the very reason you came here. Why did 2 million people pay more to get away? Because they didn't want to be vetted. They didn't want to be fingerprinted. That just scared the hell out of everybody. Scares the hell out of me. The immigrant community. Give us the bad guy.
I need to ask you about the Chinese immigrants that have crossed the border, because that number has gone way up. And I've talked to people that are concerned that we have vulnerability to our energy grid in the United States. This is a map showing where Chinese have purchased farmland in the United States in pretty massive quantities. Those purchases are strategically around military bases. And so we've got, in 23, I think, 30,000 Chinese immigrants across the border. How do we protect against them organizing in some way and taking down the energy grid in this country in a coordinated fashion.
You put a strong president in the Oval Office. That'll happen January 20th. Venezuela, to this day, they're pushing back on taking return of those criminals. So President Trump already realizes he has to give a mandate to Venezuela saying, you will take these people back or you'll face consequences.
We're talking about some gangs here. This is from Aurora. I've had the Aurora people here. You've been in this building.
Yes.
You've been to this building. You've talked to this resident. The mayor had a statement that contradicted itself within the statement that said there wasn't a problem here. We arrested 6 people there. Well, which was it? Was there a gang problem in this building?
Absolutely. There's a gang problem in that building. In that entire neighborhood, there's a gang problem.
Yeah.
I was there. Put the community at great risk. But now they got a problem January 20th because my gang's bigger than their gang.
So I mean, look at all those issues that we got going on right there. You know, so you have the fentanyl, the drugs coming across, you have the immigration issues, you have too many people crossing at one time. It's not even that they're against immigration, it's too many people crossing at one time illegally. Then on top of that, you got China trying to be slick, coming in and taking up land. And they're buying land, and they're buying land on purpose in specific areas. So we can't sit here and say, oh, well, we don't need no border. We need to have everybody just welcome to America, and this is how it needs to be. What y'all gonna do is you're gonna end up dissolving our country. So we really do need to have somebody strong on the border, somebody who has the balls to be the bad guy and do what needs to be done in order to save and protect the people who belong to this country. And then those who do want to come into this country legally. Now, if you continue to watch the interview with Dr. Phil and Holman, at one point, he even says it himself. He says, you know what? The people who are really getting hurt are the people who've been online for 10 years trying to get in, the people who are trying to get in legally. So, I mean, so what are you doing? Are you saying it's okay? Let's go ahead and cut the line and let those people in. We done let all these people in, and the people who are here now, they deserve to have a better shot than the ones who actually try to come here the right way. Now, once again, like I said, we're about to go ahead and talk about Tyson again. Now, we just talked about Tyson. We was talking about how he had the last fight, how he didn't put up a good fight, or put up a real fight. I ain't gonna say a good fight, but a real fight. Now, at the same time, too, though, he was now just offered $700 million by a man named Turkey Elish. And I probably didn't say that right, so don't come after me, buddy. But according to the FTTV boxing, this man offered him $700 million. Now, this man is the general of the entertainment authority over there in Saudi Arabia. Okay, he's a billionaire. He's got a lot of money. He's got a lot of pull. Got a lot of power. So he'd be the man to make it happen if he can make it happen. And he pretty much said that all it is he wants to see Tyson come back and give the real Tyson. He wants to see Tyson give a real fight, give it his all. If this young man can survive, he can survive. But if he can, he can. Now the $700 million is on a condition. The condition is he's got to knock this young man out in 3 minutes. Now for $700 million, I think Tyson gonna come out like a monster, and he gonna give it his all. I think the young man is gonna have to fight for his life, and it's gonna be the longest 3 minutes of his life. All right, and that's if he can survive the whole 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because don't get caught slipping. The old man still got some power in him. But even at that though, makes no never mind. Young man I don't think he can make it. That's just me. And you come out, you better knock Tyson out, because if you don't knock him out,
Of course, I let him win. He gave me $10 million. Well, else I would have knocked him the out.
That's just all there is to it. So, with that being said, there's still another side of the story. According to a Henderson Times, they're saying that Tyson is breaking some kind of rule or some kind of agreement that he had with the gambling corporation when he fought the YouTuber to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So if he takes the $700 million, I guess they're gonna try to like penalize him or something like that. They don't want to see him win. That's what it is. But even at that though, it makes no never mind, because you're not gonna be able to penalize him enough in order to make the $700 million not worth it. The only way that he loses is if he goes in there and he loses. That's it. Now, other than that, though, I think I knock him out. But Turkey actually does want to see this happen. You know what I'm saying? So we'll go ahead and listen to a little bit of what he got to say and the reason why he does like.
You're just a big fight fan.
Yeah.
You love boxing.
Yeah.
Yes. Why? Where did that come from?
From the youngest generation. When I was child, the animation, the game, Muhammad Ali, of course, Muhammad Ali. You know, he inspired a lot of people in our region, all around the world. Mike Tyson.
Oh yes.
Larry Holmes. Roberto Duran. You know.
I want to thank y'all once again for joining us on Humble Not Timid. Like I said, I'm going to have all the information and the links down in the descriptions to all the stories we have. I'm going to have to do this in a 2-part because I don't want to stretch the time on y'all and stretch it out too far for y'all, okay? So we're going to do it in 2 parts. So all the stories that I didn't get to speak about that I wanted to speak about, we'll go ahead and we'll stretch it out and do another part for you. Once again, thank y'all for your patience as we grow, and for any mistakes that we do make, I ask you for your forgiveness, okay? And thank you again. Merry Christmas. Have a new year. Happy New Year. And may God bless y'all. And enjoy the rest of the